Yeah, hi Sally. I just wanted to know if you could answer, could you briefly share what your life looked like before your first insight into the three principles?
Um, yeah, well, for I think 8 to 10 years before coming across the principles, I had a problem with alcohol, and I was a 24/7 hour drinker, and alcohol had taken everything from me, my career, my friends, my family, my health, and I was just isolated in my house, drinking neat spirits, morning till night, vomiting, hospital admissions. Um, as I say, I was on benefits, just a very lonely, awful existence. But over those years, I was taking myself in and out of treatment centres to try and get the solution to my addiction. And I was looking for someone to make me well. So I had actually spent £80,000 on different treatment centres around the country, trying to, stop this alcohol addiction and just get better, really. And nothing seemed to work until I came across the principles.
And could you explain what your first insight was?
My first insight really was, I think the massive one was when I was told that I wasn't broken, because I'd always believed that from the age of 5 I was broken, or actually from the age when I was born, I felt that I didn't fit in with anything, that I needed fixing. And that's what I did my whole life, really, was went to different establishments, whether it be psychiatrists, treatment centres, doctors, trying to find a solution to why I felt broken. Um, but also, the massive one for me in my addiction was that I was responsible, because I'd always blamed everybody else for my drinking, that, you made me do this and you made me do that. And suddenly I realized that all my feelings were coming from me. And if they were coming from me, then it was me that was taking me to the alcohol. And it was like, oh my gosh, so that person is not responsible for how I felt. Therefore, that person didn't take me to the drink. Um, and when the ball was put in my court, it sort of made it so simple. It's like, so I don't have to, because I don't need to have those feelings, because now I know where they're coming from. Um, and that was the biggest thing, that I was responsible.
How would you say that has it's changed your life, or what's the biggest thing you can see has changed your life? Just having an understanding of these three principles.
It's had a massive impact on my life. For a start off, I don't drink, and I never know. I never need to drink. I never ever need any substance to feel okay. That is huge for me. Um, I'm a lot more compassionate. Um, I have peace of mind for the first time in my life. Um, and I now work with clients with drug and alcohol problems. So my career totally took a different path, but I feel like I'm a much better person for it, and I feel more connected to people. I always felt like I had to prove something, and felt like I was always on the outside of everything. And now I just feel part of this big, beautiful world.
That was lovely. So how do you see this understanding um, changing or affecting the world of mental health or even spirituality?
Um, well, mental health, hugely, because I was labelled as an anxious depressive person from the age of 5. And so if it worked for me, that I suddenly realized that I was never an anxious person, I was never depressed, but my thinking could take me into an anxious feeling, and my thinking could take me into a depressive state. And I was still feeling small bouts of anxiety. But then I always looked to my thinking and think, well, no wonder I felt anxious in that moment, because that was in my head. And I have to laugh at my thoughts. And, I know with wholeheartedness, it will pass. So I might be anxious for 10 seconds because of what's going on in my mind at the time, but then it'll pass and I'm absolutely fine. So I'm not an anxious person. I'm not a depressive person. I occasionally have anxious thoughts or depressive thoughts. But within fresh thought, it's gone. And that's the amazing thing. All of the labels that we had, people would say that I should say, my name's Sally, I'm an alcoholic still. But I will never say that, because I don't drink. So I cannot be an alcoholic if I don't drink. I had a period of my life that was blighted by a substance to try and fit in the world and try and cope. And now that I know I don't need anything, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm just Sally. I'm not anxious. I'm not depressed. I'm just Sally living life.
Thank you, Sally. That was beautiful.
Yeah, it's absolutely meant from the heart, Derek. Honestly, my life now is just